Is this one of the best 4Ks of the year? Well, let's talk about it. What is up, everybody? I am Mason from the Mockbus YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about another 4K Blu-ray release. It is Ridley Scott's The Last Duel, released by 20th Century Fox, and wow, what a doozy. Just to start off, I'm going to talk about the specs of the film. It is a obviously 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. It comes with a standard Blu-ray as well as a digital code. It is 2160p. It comes with There's HDR10 native 4K, because this is a movie made on film, so this is a 4K DI. It is 153 minutes, and the aspect ratio is 239:1, so you're gonna get those black letter bars. The extras that come with this is actually kind of abysmal. Just a 33 making of documentary. Besides that, nothing extra special besides trailers, but honestly, in this day and age, who really cares about trailers? So to start off, this is 4K at its best. Ridley Scott, another proponent, filmmaker who's very, strict on filming with film, trying to steer away from like Christopher Nolan, how he steers away from special effects. There's a lot of extras, a lot of practical effects, and it's made on film, and you can definitely tell this is a beautiful looking 4K. It is very sharp. Close-ups are knife edge sharp. You can see wrinkles, you can see grease on people's faces, and there's a lot of battle scenes and post-war scenes, so you're gonna get that grime, that dirt, just everywhere on his face, and you can see it's very evident on their faces. Every single follicle, you can see their pores stretching. You can see the individual follicles. You can even see individual strands of beard hair. It's absolutely amazing. It is sharp, and it's a 4K DI, so you can't really go wrong. There's no upscaling here, okay, guys? Now, I will say, being that this is made on film, there are certain low light indoor scenes which are a bit grainy, so if you're a grain hater, you might not like this. There's certain shots that aren't the most sharpest, like there are these scenes where they're indoors, there's candles or there's a fireplace, and they have this red overtone which looks really good, but it's just like it's pretty dark, and there's a lot of grain. You can see it's very apparent. Now, in between shots and in between chapters, there are these beautiful, absolutely beautiful landscape shots. Now, I'll give it to this film was beautifully shot, and the 4K transfer just adds to its beauty. It's definitely a great film, cinematically wise, cinematography wise. It's great, and it definitely warrants this 4K Blu-ray. And again, the added sharpness and Dolby Vision make battle scenes look so brutal. When people are getting stabbed in the chest, squibs go off, because it's not CGI blood. There's actual squibs, and when someone gets punched, you can see the dirt fly off the armor. You can see spurts of mist of spit and sweat and blood. It's just a grimy, dirty, nasty scenes that's fully in display on this 4K transfer. You're gonna see every little detail that makes war. It doesn't make war to be this very hurrah, here I'm here to save the day. It's a very brutal, non-forgiving film, which it just, the 4K is just so good. I can't stop. It's one of my favorite 4Ks of the year. Things such as chainmail, little details of ringlets and all that stuff is very sharp. The armor itself, when there's mud and dirt, grime, fingerprints stay on the shine. It looks so good. I'm fumbling on my words because of how beautiful this 4K transfer is. The film itself is beautiful, so you're gonna get a lot. It's just a stunning film to look at. So that was the image quality, very sharp, very beautiful. A bit grainy at certain times, but it doesn't take away from the experience of the film. Now, talking about HDRs, this is where it lacks, but it doesn't lack that much because it's great. It's just out of all the criteria, so I'm talking about 3 criteria, which is image quality, HDR, and audio. Now we're on HDR, and it's the least best, which is still saying much because it's a great HDR track. Blacks are very crushing. It's inky black, but it's a bit too inky where it's blotted everywhere. Certain details you won't be able to see. But I think that's what he was trying to go for, that dark demeanor, because it's at times this movie can be very depressing. So the cinematography, correlates with that story wise. It's weird because certain shots there'll be blue overtones, like that intro. I was very like kind of sus about the movie, because if you know me, I love my reds. When I see reds in HDR, I just absolutely love it. And the intro first couple chapters take place with these like very shallow blue overtones, which I guess is trying to symbolize the art, the destruction of war, a depressing blue overtone. And so there's fires, and then there's reds on the horse and on their uniform, which are very dulled down. But again, there's also certain scenes where it's very warm. So there'll be very cool scenes, and then there'll be very warm scenes where the reds will look absolutely beautiful. You can see the different tones, like you can see Matt Damon's blue eyes, but there's also red, from a flame hitting his face. So it has a very nice contrast when it comes to this transfer. So yeah, a lot of the reds in this film are very subdued. I'm guessing that's just based on Ridley Scott's art direction, trying to convey this depressing, just grimy, dirty film, which it's trying to portray as. But again, there's also red scenes. As I said, there's also warmer scenes. So when that happens, they show flames and candles and lights, and that's when it really takes off. The reds look so good. The flames are so deep and rich, and like I was scared because the first shot of a flame kind of sussed me out because it was just yellow. But that was trying to kind of the art direction he was going for. So when it goes to warmer scenes, it looks absolutely beautiful. But again, the highlight of this film are the blues and the greens. They look so beautiful, rich, pure. It looks amazing, and especially the end scene where she's cradling her child, and you see that whole plain of grass with that nice punchy green, and you can see the individual blades. It's just sharp and colorful on a whole different level. Now, lastly, I'm going to be talking about the audio. This is the best out of the entire 3 of Criteria's. The depth of the audio. It's a whole channel array. It's a whole surround sound, because this is a Dolby Atmos track, and it's so beautiful. You're gonna get things from the side, talking from the back, people stepping on cobblestone. It's just absolutely amazing, and the sound design shines with this Dolby Atmos track. What I really liked was that like when knights are walking, you can hear the jangling of their armor. You can hear people walking again on cobblestone, on dirt, on sand, on grass. You can tell whenever, like, that's one of my favorite things in video games, when the people walk on stone and they walk on a puddle, and you can hear the difference. That's what I love, and that's all displayed on this 4K transfer. What I also love is there these bassy booms when a movie is very serious. So this is going to work out your subwoofer a lot, as well as when a whole gallantry, a whole subsection of soldiers on horseback, when they're galloping, it's just so boom, boom, boom. It's so bassy. That final battle scene with the clanking of swords, the hitting of the stakes against shields. It's so beautiful. It's so crispy and crunchy and punchy. It makes you feel every single bit. And that last battle scene is so tense with the amazing sound design. It's just absolutely, this is just a great film. Now, if I could compare this to any other 4K transfer, especially a modern 4K transfer, I would compare it to The Green Knight. Again, but I would say this is my favorite 4K transfer of the year. But just before that is The Last Duel. And because you can't compete with the modern technology of The Green Knight with its HDR, its digital cameras, getting you the sharpest image. And again, I don't think this is a 4K DI, but it still looks really good. So that was my review. To sum up, image quality is an 8.5. Great sharpness, but again, there are certain scenes where it's very grainy. So if you're a grain hater, it's not the most, it'll take you away from it. But for me, for a person who likes grain and for a person who likes the filmic look, I like it, but I'm giving my opinion on what everyone would like, and that might take away from certain people. Like certain low light shots don't look that good, but when it's I feel like there's like the natural lighting of the image looks really good. HDR is an 8 out of 10. Again, crushing blacks, you're losing detail. The artist's or the director's intent was to have a oversaturation of blue, so you're not going to get a huge color gamut. Again, you're going to get a lot of good greens, blues, and reds, but they're kind of sectioned off. It's not like where the entire film displays a whole variety at the same time. It's kind of like, here's your blue section, here's your red section, here's 5 minutes of blue, here's 5 minutes of red, here's a couple green sections. So it's not really all encompassing. Like, again, my favorite 4K transfer of the year, I would say is actually Mad Max. But again, that was also a previous Kino Lorber transfer, but it was re-released. Anyways, that's my favorite, and you can see blues, reds, browns, and all that stuff. That's my favorite transfer, was the Mad Max. If you want to see that review, click the card up here. But yeah, HDR 8 out of 10. Again, overtones of blue. Sometimes it's subdued. Sometimes it works really well. But again, as an overall movie, it works with it. But as a 4K enthusiast, it's okay. It's great when it's great, but then there's a lot of okay scenes. And then lastly is audio. If you're an audiophile, woo-wee, you're going to love this film. The depth and variety is so great. The HDR, I gave it 8 out of 10. Image quality, an 8.5. And the audio is a 9.5 out of 10. Again, everything. It'll work out your sound system. If you're a 4K enthusiast, if you know nothing about this film, I would suggest you pick this up. It's definitely going fast because I only found a couple copies at my local Walmart. They didn't have it anywhere at Sunrise Records, and this was definitely worth a pickup. Story-wise, this was pretty of an intense movie. There's a few disturbing scenes, which saying what you will, some people fast forward. You can fast forward it; it doesn't really affect the movie entirely. There's a lot of disturbing scenes. I'd give this a couple months to rewatch or a year to rewatch. The battle scenes are really great, but they're very short. That last scene where it's just Adam Driver and Matt Damon's character when they're fighting, that's a great scene. I wish they had more fully fledged out battle scenes, but again, if they did, it'd probably cost like $200 million because there's so many extras. Again, I wanted to say, when they have that last panning out scene and there's like thousands or hundreds of extras, those are real extras. Those aren't CGI extras, and it looks amazing. You can see everyone's outfit and they're all clear, and this is such a sharp this is a demo quality 4K, and I highly recommend everyone pick this up. If it's a bit of a drab, it's a bit of a depressing film. You're definitely gonna get angry at some of these characters. A lot of these characters are very unlikable, but say what you will, it feels like like certain people are the main character, but then certain people are actually not. It's told through different perspectives, and it's actually a true story. So I highly suggest this. If I had to give this a final rating, I would give this an 8.5 out of 10. It's great. It's not amazing. Again, it's definitely worth a pickup. If you love 4K, I have it on my OLED, so maybe that kind of hindered the HDR. But again, like when it comes to HDR, 4K is the best example. Then you're not gonna get the brightness, but the colors and the blacks are gonna look amazing. So yeah, that was my review. Have you guys checked out The Last Duel on 4K Blu-ray? Let me know down below. And yeah, what do you guys think about the movie, the transfer? I really liked it. The movie was great. It's just a drab to get through. But when the action scenes are there, it's great. It was never a boring film. It always kept me on my toes. Sorry. And if I had to pick it up again, I would. Hopefully, there's a steelbook, fully available, because I know there's a Zavvi steelbook, but that's a limited edition and it's on Zavvi. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching the video, man. I am Mason from the Mockbuster YouTube channel. Please leave a like and subscribe. I hope you guys had a great day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this. Please stay safe. God bless and cheers, guys. Remember, live long, prosper, and support physical media. See you guys.
Woke up this morning, got some gabagoo. And then I woke up the next day and got some gabagoo.